This is the Nike Pegasus Premium in the new olive and desert khaki colorway. On paper, this should be one of Nike's best running shoes. The highest deck they've ever put on a Pegasus, ZoomX foam, Air Zoom pods, React X for stability. I spent £200 on these, and once I actually ran in them, I realised something you'll want to know. Something here doesn't add up. Let's get into it. So in this video, I'm not just reviewing how this shoe feels, I want to answer 3 very specific questions. First, what is the Nike Pegasus Premium actually designed to do? And who does it genuinely make sense for? Secondly, how does all of this technology translate once you start running? Especially if you're a heavier runner like me, or perhaps a heel striker. And third, if you're deciding between this and Nike's other premium cushioned option, which one actually makes sense for you? Because on paper, these shoes look very similar, but on foot, they feel very different. Nike positions the Pegasus Premium as an upmarket daily trainer, and the midsole setup is where most of that story is being told. The stack height is substantial, 45mm in heel and a 10mm drop, which is the highest stack Nike have ever used in a Pegasus line. The primary foam here is ZoomX, which is soft, lightweight and designed to absorb impact. Running through the length of the shoe is a sculpted Air Zoom unit, similar in concept to what we've seen in the other Nike racing shoes. Underneath all of that is the React X foam, a firmer, more durable compound that's designed to add stability and stop the shoe collapsing underfoot. Compared to the other high-stack Nike models, this shoe actually feels more controlled and more stable than I expected, and I think the React X plays a big role in that. Now this is where the Pegasus Premium actually surprised me. I'm a heavier runner, and with this much stack underfoot, I wasn't expecting the level of stability that this shoe was able to give. And despite the height, the shoe actually feels quite stable. The heel counter is solid, the shoe holds your foot really well, and there's a rigidity through the midsole that gives you real confidence in the shoe. And I think a lot of that comes down to the React X foam. React X is firmer and more supportive than ZoomX. And in this shoe, it appears to be doing its job really well. It adds structure and stops the shoe from collapsing completely. So from a pure stability perspective, this shoe did better than I expected. On paper, that should make this a good option for runners who want cushioning without losing structure. But how all of this comes together once you start running is where things begin to feel a little different. Once you start moving in the Pegasus Premium, the ride becomes very noticeable very quickly. At walking pace, the shoe feels comfortable and well cushioned. There's a lot of protection underfoot, and initially it feels reassuring. But as soon as you start to pick the pace up, the way this shoe moves through the stride starts to feel awkward. The transition from heel to toe isn't smooth. It actually feels slappy, almost disjointed, like the shoe isn't really flowing with you. If you land more towards the forefoot, it's manageable. This is where you want to be with this shoe. You can get away with it. But if you're a heel striker, the experience changes completely. The heel compresses quickly, the shoe collapses under load, and instead of rolling you forward, it just absorbs the impact and stops there. And this is where a lot of the online confusion around this shoe starts to make sense. People say this shoe feels slappy, and I would tend to agree. Moving away from the midsole for a moment, the upper on the Pegasus Premium is actually one of the stronger parts of the shoe. The material feels premium, and there's a lot of padding around the heel and tongue, which adds to that overall comfort first feel. The tongue is particularly interesting in this shoe. It's plush, but it's also perforated with air holes, and in practice that works really well. In the smoke test, ventilation is very good. Air moves through the upper easily, and for a shoe with this much padding, it's surprisingly breathable. Without question, the Pegasus Premium beats the Vomero Plus in terms of breathability, and also beats the Vomero Premium in terms of breathability as well. That's a smart design choice, and it helps balance out the warmth you'd normally expect from this kind of construction in a shoe. One thing I did notice though is that the outer fabric can crinkle slightly as you move. You can feel it shifting on foot when you're walking, and you can hear it a bit as well, which makes the shoe a little bit noisy. That may come down to foot shape, in all honesty. Someone with a fuller foot might not notice it as much, but it is for me worth mentioning. This is where the Pegasus Premium really starts to divide opinion, and where a lot of online discussion actually starts to make sense. Nike has combined two very effective shock absorbent systems here. You've got the Zoom X foam, which is soft and compressive, and you've got the Air Zoom pods, which are also designed to absorb impact. Individually, both of these systems work very well, but absorption and energy return are not the same thing. In this shoe, a lot of the energy you put in gets absorbed by the foam, then absorbed again by the Air Zoom unit, and very little of it actually comes back. So instead of the shoe helping you move forward, it just dampens everything. That's why the Pegasus Premium feels comfortable, but also feels flat, heavy, and a bit dead once you start running. The shoe doesn't reward you for loading it, and it doesn't give you that sense of midsole working with you either. This is also why forefoot strikers may tolerate it more than heel strikers. You're engaging less of the collapsing heel and more of the firmer platform under the front of the shoe. But for a daily trainer, and especially at this price, that lack of energy return for me is a very real problem. Now, if you're looking at the Pegasus Premium, chances are you're also looking at the Vomero Premium. They're both Nike's most expensive cushioned options. They're both positioned as premium, and they're both aimed at runners who want comfort and protection. But once you actually run in them, like I have, they don't really solve the same problem. The Pegasus Premium is all about shock absorption. It protects you from impact, but doesn't give you much back in return. The Vomero Premium is softer and more forgiving overall, but it can feel unstable and inefficient, especially if you're a heavier runner like me. And this is where I think most people should pause, because for the majority of runners, I don't think either of these are the best choice. If you want a comfortable Nike daily trainer that actually runs well, you can save yourself 40 to 80 quid and buy the Vomero Plus instead. It gives you energy back, it transitions more naturally, and it feels like a proper running shoe rather than a crossover product. For heavier runners, the Vomero Plus works with you and not against you. So unless you specifically want a lifestyle first shoe, or you're only doing the occasional short run, that's where I'd be looking to spend my money. So these are actually my Nike Pegasus 37 Shields. I've run hundreds of miles in these, and I love this shoe. I can't throw it away, despite the fact that it's dying or dead. It's not far away from going in the bin, let's put it that way. So when I heard that Nike was bringing out a premium version of the Pegasus line, I was really excited to see what the offering would be. But unfortunately, I feel like they've lost something with the introduction of this double impact absorption system. I've seen this happening with the Vomero Premium when we tested that shoe, and my opinion firmly is that two levels of absorption in one shoe creates a situation whereby you've got an enormous amount of impact absorption but no energy return whatsoever, and that's exactly what's happened with the new Pegasus Premium, unfortunately. I feel like this shoe has taken a direction of a lifestyle shoe, and it's gone too far in that direction, and it's lost its actual purpose as a running shoe. I think this is a relatively low mileage shoe. I think this is suitable for someone who wants a shoe that they can train at the gym on, perhaps do a few miles on the treadmill, but also be able to wear them with a pair of jeans at the weekend comfortably and be able to go out and about doing the shopping, for instance. I think if you're looking at the Pegasus Premium, then you may also be considering the Vomero Premium and trying to understand which one would work best for you as a runner. And I think there's a couple of key things to take into consideration. The shoe's purpose is specific for impact absorption, and that is the case for both the Vomero Premium and the Pegasus Premium. I think the Vomero Premium is suited better to a lighter weight runner who's doing a lot of miles and needs to protect their joints from any increased amount of impact absorption because they're already doing a lot of miles. So I think if you're a lightweight runner, you've got the money to invest and you need a recovery shoe or something that's going to support you through some long miles, that's probably the shoe for you. If you are a heavier runner, perhaps, who fits similar criteria in that you need a shoe that's going to absorb some impact, but you also need a shoe that's going to give you a little bit of energy return, in my opinion, you could save yourself 40 to 80 quid and go off and buy the Vomero Plus. I've done a review of this shoe on our channel, and in my opinion, it's much better suited to a heavier runner because you get that element of energy return that you're not getting out of the Pegasus Premium or the Vomero Premium. To deal with the Pegasus Premium, like I've said, I think this is a lifestyle shoe. I think this fits for somebody who wants to use the shoe occasionally on a treadmill, but also wants to be able to do other things in the gym and is quite comfortable wearing the shoe at the weekend. I think that because of the design of the colorways, you're not seeing any more extreme colorways, and this is a theme generally across the manufacturers at the moment. They're looking to come away from these bright, bold colors and into a more subtle colorway, more of a lifestyle colorway, and this shoe definitely fits that. Similar things come to mind with the Adidas Adizero. They've done similar. New Balance with the Rebel V5, they've done similar in terms of colorway design. The difference between those two shoes is that they still fit their purpose, whereas the Pegasus Premium in this instance doesn't. That being said, I'm certainly not a hater of the brand. I was desperate for this shoe to do well. I really wanted the Vomero Premium to do well as well, but unfortunately for me, it didn't. The Vomero Plus, on the other hand, is an outstanding shoe and you should consider it. So guys, if you've got any questions about running shoes, whether it's this shoe specifically, another shoe on the channel, or perhaps it's a problem point that you're experiencing and feel like you need some help with, just bang your question into the comments and I'll either come back to you directly in the comments or perhaps I'll put a video on explaining the issue. And if you enjoyed this review today, please smash that subscribe button and the like button.